Hey guys, how's it going? This is some coverage of our Welch College Disc Golf Club's team Final 10 for our tryouts. We made a modified course for our 9-hole course, added an extra hole. So we had some fun here. So we're gonna have some coverage of our final 3 holes of the Final 10. So my name's Tanner Stringer. With me here, I got
Steve Nierby
and Daniel Delgado.
All right, we played a few different courses here in the Nashville area here prepping for our tryouts. We played at Cedar Hill and as well as Saunders Ferry, so got some fun mix of shots in on those courses. And now we're here to our college course, so we had a good time. So we have the boards are pretty close here. We got some tight matches, so without further ado, let's get into it. So here off the first tee, that's Alejandro throwing. He's throwing a Star Beast there. He had a pretty nice shot. So Daniel, Alejandro, both of y'all were playing here. I was videoing. How are you guys feeling at this point of the round?
I was feeling all right. I wanted to be a little bit more ahead of where I was, but I was fine with where I was at.
Steven, you had a pretty up and kind of a little bit of a slow start, but then you went on you had a turkey, right, on 4, 5, and almost a turkey.
Almost had a turkey.
Almost a turkey. So by the time we got to hole 8 here, we just saw you throw. How were you feeling about that?
That was kind of a bad throw. I felt kind of trash after that, not gonna lie.
Yeah. What were you throwing on that hole?
That was an eagle.
Okay. So as you can see there, the basket's up straight ahead. It's about 315 feet. This is one of the more difficult holes on the course. But so if you can get a birdie look, that's great. But really, you just want to get your par and get off the hole there. That was Destiny Woolett. She was throwing her TL. Now we have Will. Will had a very hot round here. I believe he was 3 down at this point. He's throwing his Star Katana there. Flipped a little bit.
Yeah, just gets a little more right than he wanted to, but not bad.
Great drive, though.
Yeah. Now we have Daniel. Daniel, what are you throwing here?
I believe I'm throwing my Convict here. Now, this is not bad at all. This is a good drive for me, but I ended up not doing the upshot that I wanted.
I see. Now we got Alexander here. He's throwing his DDX. Gets it out there nice. And sits just right on the edge of the woods there, so that was a good drive.
You definitely don't want to be in those woods. I mean, there are a few gaps, but the open play is a much better play for this hole.
Yeah, this is Jonathan Lisbona. He's throwing his ESP crank here. He's going to try to give it a little bit of a hyzer flip. Turns a little bit right on him, but it gets stable, gets right out in the middle. And that's pretty much exactly where you want to be. That gives you a nice about 45-foot putt or so from where he was at. But now last year on the tee, we have Jordan Team. He is throwing, this is his T-bird, right, guys?
Yeah, this is a T-bird.
Yeah. And this, so that brush pile there that you can see, that is actually marked off as OB. And we'll see once he gets up here. He pushed the line about as close as it gets. As you saw, we had some people walking around with us here for this final day of tryouts. So we had a good, fun time here. Now Destiny's up here for her upshot. What's she throwing here?
A Nova.
Nova.
Yeah.
It's a nice straight disc. She really likes to throw that for her approach shots. So now we're just kind of moving up. We got Daniel. He's next up here.
Yeah, now this is an interesting turn of events with me. I thought, I think I could do a putt, but I want to try to get as close as I can. So, yeah, the jump putt did not turn well, as you can see. I went straight into the woods and did not go nearly as close as I wanted.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those, and I think even you just started playing here a couple months ago, correct?
Yeah.
So you're guys kind of learning here, some of those and how far you are back as to when you can jump putt and when you can't.
Mm-hmm.
Now we got Alejandro here. He had a nice drive, so he's doing a little sidearm approach with his jawbreaker zone there.
Mm-hmm.
A pretty good shot. I know that rolled a little bit farther than what he was hoping to be, but gives him a good putt. So as you can see, the line had kind of faded off as what we had painted here, but Jordan is literally, the left side of his disc there is on the line. So he's just barely in, but
very close.
As long as you're in, you're good.
Yeah.
So as we were all trying to figure out who was up next, Jordan was thinking that he was up there, but then we'll pan over in a minute, and you'll see Will and I believe Steven, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, as once we get there, we actually see Will found a gap in the brush, gets it,
Oh, man.
hits basket. So I was actually behind him. I probably should have gone before him, but I somehow found the same gap he found and just try to do what he did, except make it.
Yeah.
So as you saw, he took a knee. So I decided that, if I wanted to be, good, I should take the knee as well. So I
Yeah.
found the same gap by taking the knee, and I mean, we're about to see what happens. So
Yeah. So what would you say? You had probably about a 40, 45-foot look here?
mm-hmm.
Yeah. As you can see, and those are, might be noted, a lot of those are little thorn trees, so it's not too fun being back in there. And ooh, gave it a pretty nice little run there.
Yeah, just put a little bit left, but it was a nice look.
What do you throw for your approaches? What was that yellow disc?
That's an AVR.
AVR?
Yep.
Okay, that's a nice, good approach, putt-in approach disc here. Now we got Jordan. He switched over to the Novas for not only throwing putters, but he also likes to putt with them. He's a spin putter, as you can see there, so I think he wanted to give that a little bit more of a run, but again, that's all right. This is one of the harder holes, so if you can get out of this on a par, you're doing pretty well. Now we got Daniel back there. So this is for your, is this for your 3?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
And I wanted to get out of there as much as I could, but it was not strong enough, and a branch took it down.
Yeah, kind of
Yeah.
just hits a branch. That's the problem with being in the woods over there.
So as you can see here, this is kind of our gallery. We had around 20, 25 of us, I think, out there. And we had just a good, fun time. It's been pretty cool to see how the disc golf has been developing here on campus over the past 5 or 6 months. We've gotten a lot of interest in it, and we're working on getting a team put together, especially for the 2020-21 season. So excited for what all is going on here on campus. We got Destiny up for her putt. She's putting with an AVR. And this was kind of just it just kind of just happened all day. There was just a lot of cage hits and everything. Alejandro makes the correction there, and he puts it right in the chains. A little bit high, but hey, it ended in the basket, so.
Yep. Hit the
Daniel.
cage again.
Yeah. Those are hard to take. I think those are what we hear in our nightmare is the sound of a disc hitting the cage.
Definitely.
There you go. And you're putting with that AVR, correct?
Yeah,
Yeah.
which I kind of use it for some shorter up shots and then putting as well. I
Okay.
have 2, but I mostly just use that one.
You can see Jordan hitting the freeze frame there as Alexander was putting. Now we're going ahead and tap all these out. Overall, this hole was played pretty well by everyone. I don't think there were any birdies, but a few pars and a few bogeys. So as you can see, Will was at the top of the leaderboard, then Jordan, Destiny, Steven, and then Lisbona, Alexander, and Alejandro were all tied up there, and then Daniel just right below him there.
Yeah. That last hole cost me a lot.
So Steven, what are you throwing off the tee?
That's an eagle, and I kind of rushed the walk up and put it out real hazard and nose up, and it just got away from me.
So this hole is about 450 feet straight down the hill there, and if you just straight in front of you, the basket's down in a little bit of a cove. So there's no Mandos here off the tee, but obviously you need to make it pass through this gap to get out there into the open. That was Will who had just thrown. He threw his katana, and now Alexander's throwing his DD3 again.
Oh, that was good. That was beautiful.
This was beautiful. He got just the right amount of flex you wanted on it, came back to the center of the fairway, and this was lined up directly with the basket. That was a great shot. That was well over 300 feet.
Honestly, it was just not like super windy out there, so honestly, like someone could have put down a roller, and it probably would have gotten pretty far down there.
Yeah. This is Jordan. He's throwing his T-bird. And you can just see it barely missed that top branch, but he got out there and gave him a pretty decent approach shot. Still probably a couple hundred feet away, but he's out in the open. That's what you want to be able to do. This is Lisbona. He's throwing his ESP crank again. He gets a nice rip on this, and you can see it finish. So that where the disc landed is directly in line with the gap of where the basket's at. So that was a good shot by Jonathan. Next up on the tee, we have Destiny. She's throwing her TL again here, I believe. Destiny is our top women's player here on campus. She actually broke her foot here back in December, so she's had just been back for a couple weeks prior to this video, but she's really getting back into it. Daniel, what are you throwing here?
I believe it was my compact again, and I really just want to clear it. And I barely missed that big tree, and I get past it, so that was good, but way too short.
You went a little flex there, just
Yeah.
flexed a little bit more left than you wanted to be.
Definitely.
So the video actually kind of ended up messing up on me, and I apologize for that. Missed the approach shots and the putts. So everybody took some decent scores there on hole 9. So this is our final hole. This is a new hole on the course. As you can see, it's still a little bit rough, but so Will went first there, throwing his katana. Alexander threw, I believe that was his blue DD3. Alejandro's next up on the tee. What's he throwing here, Daniel? It's this green disc.
Yeah, I believe he's throwing.
Oh, excuse me. No, his bonus up now.
Yeah, I think we had a small bit of confusion back there.
I think he's ready to ace run this thing here. We're going at the basket where all the people are at back there.
Just puts it a little high, but gets a semi-decent kick.
Yeah.
He's throwing his drop breakers zone.
Yeah. Sidearm.
Puts it a little low,
A little
but,
short.
I mean, that's still in the fairway, so that's not bad.
And I think he was just wanting to lay that up into the center and just
Yeah.
make sure he stayed out of the woods, but I think he went a
Definitely.
little bit shorter than he intended to.
Yeah.
Steven, what are you throwing here?
The eagle again. This wasn't a bad throw. I just actually put it out a little bit more left than I wanted to. Kicked off the tree, but still had a great shot. Honestly, if I missed that branch, that probably would have been out of bounds.
Yeah, so you could see when I zoomed in there just a little bit of the cage. So, Steven, this hole is a peninsula, so it's surrounded by an OB circle of about 33 feet. Were you looking to try to ace run this?
100%.
100%, because that was a pretty good line, just a little bit low.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, once I threw it during practice and actually skipped off the top of the edge one time. So, you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, definitely. At this point in the round, Will was pretty far ahead in there, and then we had a pretty tight battle between Steven and Alejandro and Jonathan and Alexander. And then Jordan and Daniel were battling it out to the very end here on this hole.
We're both 9 up here, actually.
Yeah, so there was quite a bit of tension going into this final hole, and as you can imagine,
slips
this
out of my
tight
hand.
fairway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually didn't realize it, but going into this hole, after looking at the scores, I went from the middle of the pack on 9 to second because I took a par.
Yeah. This hole, again, I didn't get all the upshots there, but we did some plinkoing around up that fairway.
Yeah.
But this is, again, to the point where everyone's ready to putt. I believe, is this you down there,
Yeah,
Daniel?
This is me trying to do as close as I can get to the basket,
I mean,
and a little far.
That's
but
a pretty good throw through a small gap there.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I was a little bit worried you might hit that pine tree there, but you had a nice out. So then we're all kind of scrambling around in here. This is Jonathan. This is actually his drive. So this will be a birdie putt from him. The fairway, it's only about, probably around 200 feet. So it's not too long, but it's just a matter of missing all those trees and everything down in the ceiling. And if you can punch it out, you can see the flags there. That's where all the OB is at. So it was a little bit close, but you're going to see him straddle out here and try to give this a nice run on it.
It's the splits going there.
Yeah. He used to be a football player. He's still got some of that flexibility. So, guys, at this point of the day, we had already played a round of 18 before this and had lunch and then played this round. Were you guys pretty tired coming into this round, or by this point of the round?
I was surprisingly not tired. I was feeling myself rather, but yeah, definitely could feel it afterwards. Definitely.
I felt good.
So both you, Steven, and Daniel, you guys haven't played any official competitive rounds yet. This is kind of you guys' first taste of a little bit more of serious competition. So how would you say that you guys felt as you're preparing to, in the upcoming years, play some more college disc golf, in a more organized setting. How do you guys feel about, kind of your first taste of a little bit more competition where you're playing for something?
I can go ahead and say what I think. Honestly, there's a lot of things I need to work on and should work on, but there's also, it felt nice to get out there and compete against other people, as we just saw my horrible putt there for the birdie.
Yeah.
I honestly could have done a lot better than I did, and it shows in the video, and so I think that as we get older and play some more disc golf, because Daniel and I are still relatively new to disc golf, I think we'll get a lot better and put some pretty high scores up there.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you, Stephen, there. With my month and a half of being playing disc golf so far, I've definitely fallen in love with the sport, and I definitely want to get better at it, and I definitely look forward to playing more tournaments and things like that.
Absolutely. So this we're tapping out here for the final shots on this hole. So everyone did pretty well. Jordan here, this hole went a little bit rough for him, but he's finally getting to tap out for his score. Jordan and Daniel actually ended up tying on this round.
Yeah.
So the final scores are, we're going to pop up here. Will came in first, then followed by Steven. And then Jonathan and Alexander had a playoff, and Alexander won that. And then Destiny, and then followed up by that, it was Daniel and Jordan. So it was a good, fun round. We had a good time out there. We had a beautiful day. We were really happy to get to kind of have our first taste of the season here. So appreciate y'all watching this. If y'all enjoyed it, going ahead and keep up for some of the videos. Hopefully we'll have some more stuff coming out here from the college and everything. So thank y'all, and thanks for tuning in.